Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. We are continuing our previous shir. We were talking about the interesting shaila of a Kotton and a Gadol who wrote the Tefillin together. A Kotton is pasuk, sivas Tefillin. Let's say he wrote the Tefillin together with a Gadol. Is this Tefillin going to be kosher? On one hand, you have the Kotton who's not kosher writing it. On the other hand, your Gadol who is kosher writing it. And we were marich in the previous shir about the shaila of a Jew and a Goy shechting together, and we saw machlokas Rishonim. The Rambam holds that the Goy actively passes the shechita, and therefore it doesn't help that there's a Jew with him. But we saw that the Toseftu, the Rambam doesn't paskin like is holding that the Goy is just lav bar shechita, and since he's just lav bar shechita, if a Jew is with him, so it's like he did nothing, and then the Jew makes it kosher when he shechs together with him. So we concluded the previous shir by being miyashiv the kashiv Tosfos. Tosfos asks why we need to pass a goy because the daite denafshe of it, because he doesn't write the get for the right person l'shma. He does it for someone else. He has his own people in mind. So why do we have to come on to that for Ektosis? Why don't we just say delav b'nei krisis ninu? A goy is in a bar krisis. He's not in the parasha b'chlal of writing gittin, of giving gittin. So of course he also can't write a get. So why don't we say that? So we answered that the nafkamina is when a Jew and a goy write it together, write the get together. If it's just out lav b'nei krisis ninhu sebeseder, so he's not in the parasha, but you have a Jew with him, so the Jew is machshir. But if it's daite denavshe, that's an active psul, and that passes the get. Well, be'emes, what would be the din where you have two people writing a get? One person writes it lishma, and the other person writes it shalol lishma is the get kosher. So we could say that since that we require lishma is because it says v'kosav lo lishma, like in Shas Gittin, Chof Amud Aleph, and if so, when he wasn't miskavein lishma, so you lack the hechsher of lishma, but it's not a psul be'etzem. It's passive. You just don't have the hechsher of the get when a person doesn't write it lishma. But since there's somebody else who is writing it lishma, so then maybe it's kosher al yedei hasheni. Or no, maybe it's an active psul. It's shalol lishma. That's a very, very famous chakira. So Tosas in Menachos, and then Beis Amid Beis, Dibur Maskel Matam says that if a person is tzovea tcheles, if he's being tzovea the tcheles both l'shem tzitzis and l'shem nisayon, to test the color, so it's puzzle, because it's like a mincha that was the person did kmitza l'shma v'shalol l'shma in sham Tosfos. So we see from the fact that Tosfos disallows this dual kavana that the non-kavana l'shma is an active psul, because otherwise, what's the problem? This person had kavana l'shma also for another kavana. Why should that passel? The answer is the reason it passels is because it's not lishma, it's an active psul. It's not a lack of lishma. It was just a lack of lishma, but you have lishma. The person also has kavana lishma. The answer is no. It's an active psul of lo lishma. Look also in Rashi, Psachim Samacham and Aleph Dibra Maskil Inema. So it's mashma that kavana shelo lishma is an active psul. It's not just a chisar and hechsher. It's not a lack of hechsher, but it's an active psul. However, we can be doicha the raya. Because there we're talking about one person, he himself is mechavein lishma and shelo lishma. And in such an instance, it's puzzle, like the famous Ravid, Perek Zayin, Mipar Aduma, Locha Gimel, that a person can't be mechavein daito, lebeis dvarim ke'echad, kain zebetosim like Kotton, why you don't do mitzvahs chavilas, ayin sham and tosis, chesam and beis. When he himself is mechavein lishma v'shelo lishma, there's no kavana shlema of lishma, because you can't be mechavein both of them together. But if you have two people and you have one person's having complete kavana lishma and the other person isn't, maybe then it's beseder. But it would appear that this is if one person is mechavein lishma and the other person is not mechavein lishma, but he's not mechavein any other kavana. But if the other person is lehedia mechavein kavana acheres, that already is puzzle. That's no good. Because you can't have that one get is going to have a kavana for one Ruvain and then a kavana for a different guy named Ruvain. You can't have that shtei kavana sosros. Das arbeit nicht. Tosin Gidden Chav Daladam Beis Di Ramaschala Ezo writes that even according to the Mandayamar Yesh Breira, that afterwards you can retroactively determine what the kavanah was earlier, but beget he's moide that it has to be a mavur b'shas ksiva. He doesn't know the yesh breira beget because it says v'kosav lo v'shma. So you see that by get you need a beiru gomer, and therefore these two contradictory kavanas, two people writing two contradictory kavanas, wouldn't work. And that's why that would explain Rashi and Gidden and the Chav Gimel Amid Aleph, who's in Mefarish Akom Adaita the Daita Dinafshi Avid V'Shem Gomer B'Libel L'Shem Acher. What was Machriach Rashi? That he was Gomer Libel L'Shem Acher. Maybe he didn't have any kavan at all. He didn't have any kavan at all. Why does it have to be L'Shem Acher? Because beget stam is also puzzle, like we see in Zvachim Beis Amid Beis. So just say stam. He did it stam. So the answer is an afkamina. If a Jew and a Goy are doing it together, if they're writing it get together, if the psul of akum is just because he's not mechabin for the right people, in other words, he doesn't have kavan at all. So then if a Jew does it together with a Goy, then it's beseder. But if we say that the chashash is that a Goy is mechavin lahedji l'shem acher, there's somebody else in mind, that's an active psul, that's a psul be'etzem, and it's not going to help that a Jew is doing it with him. So even in such an instance that he's doing with a Jew, it's going to be possible. And based on what we explained, we also could be miyashiv, that it says in Zvachim and Avtasvav Amid Beis, that all Zvachim Shakibel Daman, Zar, Ve'oinen, Tvulyoim, all these puzzle people who are Makabel the Dam are all puzzle. The Gemara learns from Psukim, Frekt, Hagoin Rabbi Kiva Eger, B'Toisvaisav Ala Mishnayis, that according to Rav who said in Tumur Hamad Aleph, Kol Milsadam Rachman Allah Sabri Avid Le Mahani, that anything that Torah says not to do, if you do it, it's not effective. Why do you need a pasuk that they're mechal avoda? Why do you need a pasuk to tell you they're mechal avoda? It's pashut. Since they have an azhara not to do the avoda, memela, if they did it, their avoda is pasul. So what do we need to come on to these psukim that they're mechal the avoda? It's very simple. Since they're not allowed to do the avoda, it's pashut they're mechal the avoda. Because kol milsa dam rachman, when the Torah said not to do it, if he did it, loy mahani, it doesn't help, and of course he's mechal the avoda, of course he passes the avoda. Torah told him not to do it. But based on what we said, it's very good. Because in Afkamina, when a Zar and a Kohen did it together, if it's because of Iyavad loy mahani, so then the avoda is not pasul. So you're right, the avodas has Zar is not mahani, but the avodas, that's not effective, but it's done with a kohen. So it is effective because the kohen is machshir. But now that we learn from psukim that they are mechalel the avoda, that's an active psul, helft nicht, it doesn't help that you have a kohen together because now they're actively passeling the avoda. So now, Magai Tzidik, we go back to where we started. It's so nice sometimes to go back to where you started. And that is, I don't mean one's mother's womb. That's already, can't fit in there anymore. But what I'm talking, of course, about is sometimes the kid says, Mommy, I'm going to my womb. It's like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Once you're out, you're out. But you learn 9 months Torah with the Malach. That was Mamish Gevaldik. You want to go back there. They say, so why did Yaakov kick out when he went by the Beis Knesses, the Beis Medrash? Let him stand there and learn with the Malach. So they give a few answers. One answer is, it's Gevaldik to learn from a Malach, but when your Chavrus is Nesav, it's not so good. Another answer given is Amelus. Yaakov wanted to be Amal the Torah. Okay, this is already more for the Yidrash at a Kiddush. And right now we're trying to figure out this sugya, which is great. I love Drash at the Kiddush. Right now we're doing this sugya of Kotton v'Gadol shekosvu Tefillin is it kosher? Kotton and Gadol writing it together. It's not kosher, the Gadol is. Now, we saw in the previous shir, in part 1 of this shir, the sheet of the Maharshal and the Shach and Yoredei and Sin and Beis of Kotton Lamed, that if a Jew and a Goy are holding onto a knife together and they shecht, it's kosher, because the Goy doesn't passel, he's just not machshir, because he's a lav bar zvicha. So here also, the psul of a Kotton is because he's not a bar kshira, he's not a bar kshira, he's not a bar ksiva. So if you have a Gadol writing together with him, so it should be kosher. And so too, if you have a Kotton and Gadol doing avoda together, it should be kosher, because the bar of the Kotton is just a lav bar kavana. That's a chisar and hechsher. But if you have a Gadol doing the avoda together with him, then it's beseder. And if somebody wants to say that, let's say, they're shechting together. So you're right, it's not an active psul, but still, half of the shechita is not being done by, let's say if you have a Jew and a goy together, or you have a Gadol and a Kotton together. So he's doing half the shechita. So how's that okay? So you're right, the Jew gives it a hechsher, but you also have part of this done, part of the Meiser Shechita is done by a puzzle. So the answer is that Rashi writes in Shabbos Sadi Gimel Amud Aleph that Shnaim She'asu Melacha Zeyach of Zechel, each of them could do it on their own. We say Hayavid Kula v'Hayavid Kula, as if they each did the whole thing. In Shabbos it's part because it's not the derech, but as if they each did the whole thing. So it's as if the Jew, the Yisrael Gadol, did the whole thing. And therefore, if a Jew did it together with a guy, it's like he did the whole thing himself. So in the Sefer Tevuah Shor and Siman Beis, Osman Beis, he says that he's machmir b'shchitas akum v'Yisrael shachsu sakin. Because even if you say that each one did the whole thing, so my chaz is the other basar hechsher, the other zil basar psul, and it's a nevela. Why should you go after what the Jew did, the hechsher? Go after the nevela part, what the goy did. But it's very hard to understand, because since we say they each did the whole thing, what do you mean zil basar psul? Even if we go after the psul, but the kosher, it's still shechted. So you have a hechsher. Again, it's not an active psul. His whole psul of this guy shechting is only that he can't be machshir, he's not a bar zvicha. But if he did it together with the Jew is a bar zvicha, then it's gevaldik. He did the whole thing and he did the whole thing. So on one hand, nothing was done mitzad the guy, and the Jew did a kosher shechita. So it's a goyis tzarachin on the Tevuah Shor. The Bach in Yeridei and Siman Beis writes that if a Jew and a goy shech together, then we should be machmir that it's no good because it's in Isur Torah, but in the Shach and Sif Kotton Lam, but we can say that's dafka shechita, because there the Rambam holds that the psul of the akum, like we said in the previous shir, is an active psul, the karl chavachalta mizivcha. So an akum is a psul be'etzem, and therefore it's not good if he does it with the Jew. But Tefillin Aidei Kotton, there's no psul be'etzem, it's just not a bar kshira, it's a chitzar and hechsher. There would be beseder if he does it together with a Jew. In the Sefer Lekutei Tshuvas Chasim Sofer, which was published in London in the year 1965, in Siman Lamed Aleph, he was asked about a goy. Chasim Sofer lived well before 1965. This edition was published, Lekutei Tshuvas Chasim Sofer, in London, 1965. So he was asked about a goy and a Jew who are holding the knife together and doing the milah. Maybe you would have you have a guy there and he knows how to do milah. He's a doctor. He knows what he's doing. You have a Jew who doesn't know what he's doing, but you want to have a Jew doing the milah. So, or the father. So the Chasim Sofer there is dan al pi the Maharshal that it's beseder, because Yisrael v'nachu sheshachtu kechot kasher, and here also b'milah, and you can also learn the same thing by Tefillin. That the Kotton and the Gadol who did it together, it would be kasher als the Gadol. Interesting, we see in the Tosefta in Zvachim, Perak Aleph, that if a person's makabel the dam b'yamina u'v'smol lo ke'echad, it's possible. So you have a kosher hand and a not kosher hand. It's possible. Rav Shimon is machshir. That's the kosher hand. Interesting. Look in Tosin Chulin Daf Chaf. We discusses small, the status of small. Yesh od laharich b'zeh, but kansi l'milin asin. Baruch Hashem, we have halacha brura that Kotton v'Gadol shekasut tefillin b'yachad. It's kosher, and we should taka b'zocher lulmo du l'lamed lishmot alasos. L'kayim is called divrei salmut teras b'yahava. Yom shechar b'eis hamikdash. The Gemara says ein lo l'akadosh baruch hu la'arba almas shalacha b'lvad. Special schus and tainug in learning halacha and even halacha l'maisa. So it's Hashem. I hope we should be zocher to return to this sugi, very, very interesting sugi. Shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friends.